What is going on, Eagles family? Huge news is brewing at the NovaCare complex that could completely reshape our defensive identity this season. We are looking at a massive crossroads involving a potential blockbuster move and a high-stakes contract situation that has everyone talking. Is our star interior lineman about to get paid, or is the front office secretly lining up a major contingency plan involving one of the league's most feared pass rushers? The situation is fluid, and you need to know exactly what's at stake. Before we dive in, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's go. Jalen Carter stands at the absolute center of the Philadelphia Eagles offseason, representing a pivotal decision that the front office must navigate throughout this summer of 2026. While external speculation continues to swirl regarding potential interest in Max Crosby, the primary focus for the organization remains squarely on the status of their star defensive tackle. Whether the team pursues an addition like Max Crosby ultimately hinges on how the contractual situation with Jalen Carter evolves over the coming months. The Philadelphia Eagles have a documented history of prioritizing early extensions for premium players finishing their rookie contracts. Recent examples include Landon Dickerson securing a massive deal in March 2024 and Cam Jurgens finalizing his agreement in April 2025. Even Jalen Hurts established his market value in April 2024. Given this precedent, the current delay regarding Jalen Carter signals a deliberate shift in strategy, as team sources have explicitly indicated a desire for further evaluation concerning his health, maturity, and on-field consistency before committing significant capital. This evaluation period creates a unique tension, as the decision carries major implications for the roster's financial structure and overall defensive depth. The organization is balancing the necessity of securing elite talent with the prudence of assessing long-term reliability. As the summer progresses, the narrative surrounding this extension will undoubtedly dominate internal discussions, shaping how the front office approaches any secondary roster maneuvers. The Eagles remain committed to maintaining a championship-caliber core, and Jalen Carter is undoubtedly a key pillar in that vision. Fly, Eagles, fly. The team continues to assess every available path to optimize their performance, ensuring that every financial and personnel decision aligns with their broader objectives for the 2026 season and beyond. The financial landscape regarding Jalen Carter shifted significantly following the recent extension signed by Jeffrey Simmons with the Tennessee Titans. As the first defensive tackle to reach the $35 million per year threshold, Simmons effectively reset the market, securing $100 million in guaranteed money. This benchmark directly impacts the negotiations for Jalen Carter, as his eventual contract will almost certainly exceed these figures. The Philadelphia Eagles now face the reality that waiting to initiate these discussions has likely increased the total price tag, regardless of whether the final deal spans 3 or 4 years. Furthermore, the involvement of high-profile agent Drew Rosenhaus adds a layer of complexity to these negotiations. While the team previously had the opportunity to set the market earlier in the spring, their choice to delay has placed them in a position where they must now account for these newly established league-wide standards. Why does this matter right now for the team? This situation dictates the available salary cap flexibility for the remainder of the 2026 roster build. If a contract is not finalized before the start of training camp, it creates a lingering uncertainty that could influence how the team allocates resources toward other positions. The front office must determine if they are prepared to meet these inflated financial demands, or if the valuation gap remains too wide to bridge. Every day that passes without an extension adds pressure, as the team attempts to balance the rising cost of elite interior pressure with their broader fiscal responsibilities. Ensuring Jalen Carter remains satisfied and motivated is essential, as his role within the defensive scheme is irreplaceable. The organization must navigate these fiscal hurdles carefully to maintain their competitive edge in the NFC East. The hypothetical pursuit of Max Crosby serves as a distinct contingency plan linked directly to the outcome of the Jalen Carter extension talks. If the Philadelphia Eagles encounter a stalemate with their defensive tackle that extends into the onset of training camp, the internal logic regarding roster construction could pivot toward exploring other elite defensive options. While the organization has already revamped their pass rush unit this offseason, the potential availability of a player like Max Crosby introduces a compelling alternative scenario. The interest in Max Crosby is not merely speculative. The team has shown historical interest in his acquisition. By weighing the cost of a lucrative long-term extension for Jalen Carter against the price of trading future assets for a proven veteran like Max Crosby, the front office is essentially evaluating two different paths to defensive dominance. The possibility of Jalen Carter holding in or requesting a move if an agreement stalls provides the necessary context for why Max Crosby remains a relevant subject of discussion. Although there is no explicit suggestion that the team intends to move on from Jalen Carter, the existence of a Plan B is a standard operating procedure for a well-prepared front office. Acquiring Max Crosby would provide an immediate, high-impact boost to the defensive front, even if it requires sacrificing multiple high draft picks. The Eagles must decide if a proven, elite presence like Max Crosby is more valuable to their immediate success than preserving future capital for the draft. This choice highlights the difficult balancing act between maintaining a young core and chasing immediate, high-ceiling additions to ensure the defensive line remains a top-tier unit that can consistently disrupt opposing quarterbacks throughout the long and demanding 2026 campaign. If the Philadelphia Eagles opt to prioritize a trade for Max Crosby, they could theoretically do so while still managing the extension for Jalen Carter. The financial flexibility to incorporate a major salary exists if the team manages their cap effectively, though it would require significant commitment of future assets. Trading multiple high draft picks is a steep price, but for a roster built to win now, the benefit of adding a talent of Max Crosby's caliber is clear. The primary question remains whether the team is willing to bypass their typical preference for homegrown talent retention in favor of a more aggressive acquisition strategy. By leveraging future picks, the team could potentially field one of the most fearsome defensive fronts in the entire league, pairing their existing talent with the proven intensity that Max Crosby brings to the field every Sunday. This strategic duality allows the front office to explore all avenues, ensuring they are not beholden to a single outcome in the Jalen Carter negotiations. If an extension with Jalen Carter is reached, the team could theoretically pursue Max Crosby as a secondary, albeit expensive, luxury to solidify their status as a defensive powerhouse. However, if the negotiations with Jalen Carter continue to linger, the pressure to secure a high-impact defender like Max Crosby increases exponentially. The interplay between these two players defines the current strategic crossroads for the organization. As training camp approaches, the team will need to synthesize these variables into a cohesive decision that maximizes their defensive potential. Whether the solution involves a massive commitment to their current star or a bold trade to bring in an established force, the end goal remains the same: sustained defensive superiority throughout the year. Ultimately, the resolution of the Jalen Carter situation will provide the clarity necessary to finalize the team's defensive identity for the remainder of 2026. While the connection to Max Crosby remains an intriguing storyline, it is fundamentally secondary to the core task of securing Jalen Carter. The organization possesses the tools to get a deal done, and from a practical standpoint, reaching an agreement before the team reports for training camp would alleviate any unnecessary friction or distractions. Such a move would demonstrate a commitment to their young star while allowing the coaching staff and front office to turn their collective attention toward the rigorous demands of the regular season. If a contract is signed, the narrative surrounding Max Crosby will likely dissipate, allowing the team to move forward with a settled defensive unit. Conversely, if the standoff persists, the intensity of the speculation regarding Max Crosby will only sharpen. The Philadelphia Eagles are in a position of power, possessing the necessary cap space and the desire to win, but they must navigate the specific demands of their roster with precision. The combination of Jalen Carter's potential and the veteran presence of any added talent would create a defensive foundation capable of matching up against any offense in the league. As the summer winds down, all eyes will be on the team's facility, watching for the announcement of an extension that could solidify the heart of the defense for years to come. The goal is to avoid prolonged uncertainty and ensure that every player is fully integrated and focused on the team's primary objectives. With the right decisions, the Philadelphia Eagles are well positioned to maintain their status as a legitimate force, relying on the talent of their established stars to anchor a dominant defensive performance as they chase further success.